Hi, we welcome you on another session, and today's session is about difference between counseling, coaching, mentoring and managing. Counseling, coaching, mentoring and managing. It's a new whiteboard session for you. A lot of people don't have an idea the difference between counseling, coaching, mentoring and managing. I'll begin with managing first. This is quadrant 4. Let me give them a number of the quadrant. Quadrant 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I'll begin with the quadrant 3 first. This is called managing. Managing your employees. It is said when you're managing your employees, you're only damaging your employees. When you tell them about their problem, let us take an instance, an example. When an employee has done some mistake and you start telling him about his problems, and you continuously start talking about his problem, you tell him what you did wrong, you tell him you did all these 5 things wrong, and you start giving sweeping statements like you always do this. I have been watching you doing always all these times. When you start giving the sweeping statement and you tell about his problem to him, actually it reduces the inspiration. It reduces the motivation. It is killing his ownership, initiative, responsibility. He will never like to take more. See, इससे कभी समस्या सुलझेगी नहीं, केवल उलझेगी. So never talk about his problem. I will make a shift from here. Now I'll talk about mentoring. Of course, managing is required only in areas where there is an extreme discipline issue. When there is a discipline issue, then you talk about it. Otherwise, it's always advisable that you move to other quadrants. So now I'm moving from quadrant 3 to quadrant 4. This is called mentoring. This quadrant is very good when you start talking about solutions to your employees, and you only talk about solutions to your employees when there is a skill deficit issue. And when you're mentoring your employee, this works only when it is a skill deficit issue. Let us say you have an employee who knows what to do, where to do, why to do, when to do, how to do, but he's not willing to do. And then you start giving him skill. What is he missing? He's missing the will, and you're giving him skill that is actually also damaging him again. Mentoring will never do very well when he already knows what to do. Mentoring will work very well when there is a skill deficit issue. Let us say, for example, somebody wants to learn harmonium. And then you start teaching him. Tell him, this is how you play harmonium. He'll learn very quickly. Let's say somebody already knows how to play harmonium and you start telling him again and again, this is what you have to do, he already knows. It is going to only damage your relationship with him. So don't tell a solution if he already knows the solution. Never tell him a solution if he already knows the solution. Now that he knows the solution, so the mentoring will not work. Mentoring only works when there is a skill deficit issue. You have to be a gap partner, you have to be a skill partner when he's a new employee, when he is not aware about that department. So it's about functional training. Managing your mentoring is not about attitudinal training. Thank you. I'll come to the next quadrant. This quadrant is about asking. It's about asking, because now we are above the line. When you start asking about the problem, let's say somebody has done a mistake. For example, an employee is coming regularly late, you start asking him questions. Instead of telling him, ask him, probably there is something which is going wrong with him. When you ask him, it is inside out. When you tell him, it is outside in. Inside out creates inspiration, outside in kills inspiration. Counseling, I'll take an example in counseling. Let us say a defect is coming in production, in manufacturing area, and defect is coming regularly. Now instead of telling him, you're always giving defect, or instead of giving him solution, do this to remove defect, let's start asking him, why do you think this defect is coming? Where do you think is the real problem? What is your experience about this defect which is coming? I think since defect is coming, you might be able to give me the real gap issues about this defect. And when you start asking him, probably he'll get encouraged to speak to you. I'll move to the quadrant. This is the best quadrant. Now in this quadrant is the quadrant of coaching. Here you got the real gap areas. Here you have identified the skill deficit by asking questions. Now you'll correct him in future tense. You start correcting him in future tense. You coach him by increasing his willingness, and you ask him the solution. What do you think can we do to remove the defect? What do you think is possible? What are your ideas? Give me your solution. Ask him solution. He has this solution, but his willingness was not there. This is going to increase his willingness. Ask him about his solution. Ask him, what do you think? The defect has come, no problem. What are your top 3 ideas to remove the defects? What changes would you like to bring in your life so that these defects, let us become defect-free organization? What your experience talks about it. Ask about his experiences. Ask about his knowledge. Ask about his information. When he'll start speaking, it will increase his ownership, initiative, responsibility towards you. It will increase his commitment, because involvement is directly proportional to commitment. Here, below the line, you're killing involvement. Above the line, you're increasing involvement because you're asking. Best thing is to ask him instead of telling him. Remember, if he already knows something, don't tell him. If he already knows something, don't tell him. If he doesn't know something, if he knows something, ask him. And you know what will happen? If he will tell you a solution, he'll commit more. He'll be more committed, because now it is not your solution, it is his solution. There will be an automatic buy-in that is created from him. And with that buy-in, for you to increase his willingness will be very easy. I'll go back. In this quadrant, if somebody is giving continual defects and you tell him that you are always giving defect, it is not going to increase inspiration. In this quadrant, if somebody is giving defect and you give him ideas how not to do defect, which he already knows, he may not be inspired. In this area, you start asking him, he'll tell you why the defects are coming. And here, you start asking him solutions, he'll be more committed to you. So the management says, if you are working in this quadrant, you always get 0 out of 100. If you're working in this quadrant, you get about 33 out of 100. If you're working in this quadrant, you get about 66 out of 100. If you're working in this quadrant, you get 100 out of 100. Remember, if he knows what to do, why to do, when to do, where to do, how to do, it is only about want to do. Don't tell him, ask him. That will develop relationship by asking right questions which are solution oriented. So let me tell you, what is coaching? Coaching is a process of asking questions which are solution oriented. Coaching is a process of asking questions which are solution oriented. Coaching is a process of asking questions which are solution oriented. Asking questions which are solution oriented. Always ask solution oriented question, give corrections in future tense, give corrections in future tense. Thank you. Keep watching for more videos.